I can still distinctly remember my first day here at International Student Orientation, and I was sitting at a table with like 4 or 5 other people, and someone had brought up the prompt of how did you get kind of noticed on your application. And there were some people, one person sitting beside me was a 2-time world champion at a physics contest, another person had developed their own app to fight your parking tickets for you, and another had aced all of her IB exams. So it was definitely a really big shock coming in from kind of being like pretty good at a lot of things, and then coming to Stanford and being in a community just so extraordinary. So I started playing squash when I was really young. I was about 7. The reason I got into it was because my dad and my older brother also played. And I think I kind of just wanted to follow the path of my big brother a little bit, but ended up falling in love with the sport completely. I played, like I said, since I was 7, and started competing when I was about 10 or 11. So that was my beginning into the squash community, and the Canada squash circuit is actually a really great time. I had a really great time. The juniors who are playing are all really just there to compete with this like amazing sport and challenge themselves, and it's not political at all. And like I remember so many times like playing a really competitive match with someone and then coming off and reffing the next one together and kind of just laughing and chatting, and it's a really good community, and some of my best memories were formed in the Canadian junior squash circuit. I was the first international squash player to come to the Stanford team, and that was really cool, kind of coming in, and people always ask a lot of questions about Canada, and now it's really cool because the team is building a lot. We've gotten a lot better, and now we've recruited even a player from India, and we'll continue to recruit internationally. The athletic community has been a really big formative part of my Stanford career. Especially the squash team, obviously, coming in. Squash is inherently an individual sport, and I've kind of grew up since 10 playing individually and just thinking about myself, and it was really great for me to come in here and be put onto a team where now I have to go from thinking about what I can do to make myself improve and think about what I can do to help improve the team instead. And so being on the squash team has definitely made me become a much more team player and has matured me a lot in that sense. But another big lesson I learned at Stanford was learning from other people's perspectives and backgrounds. One of my favorite classes that I took was intergroup communication, which was a class where just people from different backgrounds and diversities were kind of brought together to talk about their experiences and their paths, and that was super informative for me, especially just coming to Stanford. There's so much privilege involved in my life, and so that was eye-opening, and seeing other people's stories was super formative for me. Now I think I'm gonna approach life thinking a lot more about how any decision, especially political, can impact all different types of groups, and I think that's been one of the most important lessons I've learned at Stanford.